Oh 07 citizens. Today I'm going to show you one of the most helpful tools I use when flying around the verse. The Advanced Flight HUD, or heads-up display, gives you all the information you need for precision flying and situational awareness, and it works in virtually all ships in Star Citizen. Now there are two ways you can activate the Advanced Flight HUD. The first is to enter the pilot seat of your ship and focus on your MFD. Scroll through the pages until you find the configuration page. Select HUD in the upper right corner, and then you will see the Advanced HUD options. Toggle them on, and you will see the HUD begin to change. The second method, and the one I recommend, is to go to the Options menu, and under Game Settings, you should scroll down until you see the Defaults, HUD, Advanced HUD option. Tick each of them to yes, and they will now be on by default in every ship you fly. Now onto the Advanced HUD itself. We're going to work our way from left to right using columns. Starting in the top left, you will see it says SCM and Gun underneath it. This indicates which master mode your ship is currently in. SCM stands for Shield Combat Mode, and your guns are active in SCM mode, which is why it says Gun with a symbol of an ammo belt. If you were to switch the master mode to Nav mode, you will see it now says Nav with QT underneath, which stands for Quantum Travel. So the top part indicates the master mode you're in, and the lower part indicates the ship's capabilities in its current master mode. Moving down, you will see ESP and coupled along with this XY plane. ESP stands for Enhanced Stick Precision and is on by default. What this does is it flattens the sensitivity curve so you don't overshoot your target in ship-to-ship combat. You can disable it in the MFD under the configuration page. The coupled indicator is exactly that. It tells you whether your ship is flying in coupled or decoupled mode. If coupled mode is active, your ship will always try to fly in the direction that your nose is pointed. If you are in decoupled mode, your ship will keep its momentum in any given direction, and any new inputs will simply be added to the previous. Think of coupled mode like flying an airplane, and decoupled mode like flying a spaceship. Finally, we have this XY plane that shows you the horizontal and vertical momentum of your ship, as well as any counteraction by your thrusters. The thicker bar is where your ship is actually moving, and the thinner bar is where your thrusters are pushing for. Last in the first column is simply your fuel gauge. Hydrogen fuel is your regular flying around fuel, and quantum fuel is used for quantum jumping large distances. Moving to the next column, we have this long vertical bar, which shows you how much thrust you're giving your ship. If the bar is rising from the bottom, it means you are moving forward, and if it's falling from the top, it means you are moving backwards. You can also tell which direction you're moving by the plus symbol on the left. If you are moving backwards, it will change to a minus symbol. Directly above the plus minus symbol is your landing gear indicator. If you see this symbol, it means your landing gear is down, and it will disappear when you raise it. Finally, at the bottom, we have your ship's velocity. It doesn't differentiate velocity based on direction, so make sure to use the other indicators to keep track of where your ship is actually moving through space. Onto the center, you will notice a few variations of this middle column. The first variation is what it will look like when your ship is in atmosphere. At the very top, you have your heading indicator. This tells you which direction you are heading in 360 degrees and is very useful when navigating planets and moons. You also have a crosshair in the center surrounded by these numbered lines. These lines are what's known as your angle of attack. Two white lines on either side of the crosshair are neutral or zero angle of attack. This means that your ship is perfectly level with the ground and is super helpful when trying to land, especially in hangars. Some ships don't land with a neutral angle, such as the L-21 Wolf, so keep that in mind when putting your ship down. The lines above neutral go up in increments of 5 all the way up to 90, which would be straight up. The lines below neutral are the same, but they are negative numbers, with negative 90 being straight down. If your angle of attack is above 0, you're going up, and below 0, you're going down. Simple as that. If you're not in atmosphere, but still in SCM mode, you will simply have your crosshair. However, if you switch to nav mode, you will notice these two sort of parentheses on either side of your crosshair. The one on the right is your engine spooling, and the one on the left is your quantum travel calibration. When both are full, you can now quantum jump to your target. The fourth column is your booster or afterburners bar, indicating the amount of boost remaining, along with a percentage to quantify it. If you let the boost bar get into the red area and then stop boosting, you will have to wait until it recovers out of the red before you are able to reactivate it again. Finally, in the last column, we have the decoy and noise indicators. The first number on the left indicates the number of flares available to you. The second number on the right tells you how many will be launched should you choose to fire them. Moving down, we have the G-forces display, which tells you both the number of Gs you're pulling and the direction the force is applied. This last bit in the lower right will only show when you are in atmosphere. R out is your radio altimeter and tells you how far above the ground you are. VSI stands for vertical speed indicator and lets you know the rate at which you are climbing or descending. The Advanced HUD is one of the best tools you have at your disposal to becoming a better pilot. It lets you know how your ship is behaving in 3D space in an easy to read layout. Hopefully you guys learned something from this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe and check me out on Twitch for more Star Citizen beginner tutorials and live gameplay. Thanks for watching, guys.